Toastmasters International, where leaders are made. Warning. Indonesia, the home to 2.4 million Chinese descents. Those Chinese descents faced a tragedy 18 years ago today. Good evening, people. I am Bob, a proud citizen of the Republic of Indonesia. And today, I will tell you a sad story from the past. It was a normal day in North Jakarta. At the time, I was only 7 months old. I lay quietly on my grandmother's arm, who is just living life without anything out of the ordinary. That afternoon, a telephone call broke the silence. Mom called home, saying that she isn't coming home tonight. There's a riot, she said. The roads were blocked. People were running around the street. Mom and all 20 of her colleagues were brought to a hotel by the boss to avoid the riots and to get some sleep. They watched TVs to get the latest news. Dad was also unable to come home. He spent a night in his office. So did my grandfather, so did my uncle. At that time, my grandmother was scared to death, afraid that anything could happen to them, afraid that the rioters might break into our house. She heard people outside yelling, mostly the local residents, which are mostly Chinese descents like us. They yelled from house to house, calling males to come defend the neighborhood. Through the window, she saw men with Japanese blades and machetes. She also overheard this. The shops in the main street of Tulugong has been raided by young men with short-cut hair, cargo pants, and black boots. Houses were burnt, and electronic appliances were looted. She couldn't sleep that night. She was all dressed up, with me on one arm and a can full of powdered milk on the other. She told the babysitter beside her, "If anything should happen to me, you take Justin and flee as far as you could through the back door. That would be the last thing I beg of you." The night was long. While standing her way through the dreadful eternity, a familiar honk of the motorbike horn sounded through the front gate. Dad has returned. He was safe. Not long after was a knock-knock, knock-knock pattern that Grandpa usually uses. Grandpa was also safe on a becak tricycle. At dawnbreak, Uncle came home. At late morning, my mom also came home with a large pair of scissors on her hand for self-defense. Everybody was safe. Nobody broke into our side of the Tulugong for some reason. We all prayed to Buddha and Guan Yin to express gratitude. However, the happiness did not last long. Not long after, we heard rumors from here and there about rapes, killings, and lootings, all directed to Chinese descents. We heard that one of our distant aunts was driven crazy after her house being looted. She had nothing left but her pajamas on her that day. We heard that at several main roads of Jakarta, roadblocks were made and every passing car is filtered for Chinese descents. Any Chinese descents seen are looted and beheaded immediately. We heard that Chinese descent women, young and old alike, were raped in front of their families, then brutally murdered afterwards. People believe that this is some sort of conspiracy, since wealthy Chinese descents like Sudono Salim, Lin Shaoliang, fled to Singapore before the riots, while we, the low middle class of Chinese descents, know nothing and could do nothing. Many people think that the military was involved in the mass killings because they were absent when everything happened. Nobody helped us. They just let it happen. And mostly young men with short-cut hair, black boots, and cargo pants led the killings systematically, rapidly. The government did nothing to investigate the truth. Nobody actually knew the motive. But most believe that this killing was done by a certain someone to create a larger news to hide the Trisakti University killing incident. The Chinese government did nothing to respond when it all happened, only to change their attitude in August when it's all too late. We were the minority, hence we were scapegoated. What happened to Bhinneka Tunggal Ika? What happened to the Republic of Indonesia who promises keadilan sosial bagi seluruh rakyat Indonesia, social equality for all citizens of Indonesia? Or are we not considered Indonesian because we have yellow skin? even though the only ID card that we have ever had was an Indonesian one. The only language that we spoke was Indonesian. After the fall of the new order, the next presidents changed the discriminative laws against Chinese descent one by one. Chinese New Year became a national holiday in 2002. In 2012, we have our first ever Chinese-blooded deputy governor of the capital city of Jakarta, Basuki Cahayapurnama Zhongwanxue. In 2014, he became our first ever Chinese-blooded governor of our capital. Our lives improved, partly due to the sacrifice of our brothers 18 years ago today. As fellow residents of the world, let us give them a moment of silence.
Dengar seluruh angkasa raya memuja pahlawan negara, nan gugur remaja diribaan bendera bela nusa bangsa. Kan ku kenang wahai bunga putra bangsa, harga jasa kau jaya pelita bagi Indonesia merdeka.
Never forget, 13th of May, 1998, Toastmasters of the Evening.